Check, 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 check. Yes, sir. We are live. All right. Love you too, baby. And now, Mike's thoughts. We live in the world where we live behind computer screens, let's just be honest. We live in a world where a lot of our news and sources and interaction come from behind a phone. And that gives people the false impression that they are invincible. That gives the people the false impression that they can say whatever they want, when they want, and how they want. But the simple fact of the matter is some point in time that said theory is going to come back and bite you in the butt. Now, I posted a update on NFL fines on Sunday morning. Nick Bosa was fined $12,000 or whatever it was for wearing a MAGA hat during post-game interviews on Sunday Night Football a couple weeks ago. Many people in my comments were like, oh, if we're going to fine people for MAGA, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, this, and this. And I was going through the comments as fast as I could, and I was trying to have civilized conversations, but every time I would challenge somebody's opinion, oh, you're a leftist bigot, oh, you're a righty, you're this and this and this. The simple fact of the matter is like, I don't care what side of the aisle you are on. I don't care if you voted for Harris or Trump or whoever. Kennedy was the other one, right? I don't care who you voted for. The simple fact of the matter is that the NFL does not want politics in their organization. The NFL is a business at the end of the day, and the owner of the businesses, they have the right to say, I don't want this, I don't want that, and you cannot say this, this, or that, or I'm going to fine you. The truth of the matter is that the NFL fined Bosa for having a non-approved. And what is up, man? Our nation had a little internet malfunction there, but we should be good to go. I got switched over to the backup ISP, so we should be good to go. I don't know if we are gonna have some buffering issues, right? We are going to have some buffering issues because my backup internet provider is inside the house. It is what we use to stream like all the TVs and whatnot. So it's fairly far away, and I'm operating over on Wi-Fi. For some reason, my main internet here at the Man Hour Studios just went down. So I'm not for sure what is going on. But bear with us, guys, and I definitely apologize, and I will hopefully address that, or I will address that at the end of the show. But we do got a great story for you guys lined up today. Week 10 is almost in the books. We do got a game tonight. We had the Miami Dolphins taking on the LA Rams. But we got to talk about one of the best teams in the NFL. Not the best team, but one of the best teams in the NFL, and that is the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions versus the Houston Texans. We're going to review that game and talk about it. Does that make them the best? We'll talk about that. Also, the Steelers and the Commanders, they went to work. They did a battle, 28-27. But how good are those teams really? How good are those teams? Let's sit back and talk about that. And of course, it is Monday, so we got the infamous way or no way, and we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. We got to talk about the best team in the NFL, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs. And we also have to talk about one of the worst teams in the NFL, and that's the Chicago Bears. Should they move on from Matt Eberflus? Should they? I don't know. Micah Parsons sounding off. Micah Parsons says, we'll talk about that. But Micah Parsons, should Mike McCarthy be fired, or should Micah Parsons get traded? What? Exactly. And the Atlanta Falcons lose to the Saints, 20-17. Is this the beginning of the end for the Atlanta Falcons? Where? No way. There's a lot more to come, guys. Much, much more here on this beautiful man-hour day. But if you are in the comments, guys, let me know. Let me know how is the internet treating us, because like I said, I am on the backup right now. It looks like we're getting about 4,000 frames per second, so we should be good. But if you're not, let me know. But before we get too carried away, we got to welcome some people into the chat. We have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have to welcome the man that is the biggest Detroit Lions fans ever since his Raiders decided to suck, and that's my man, John Peoples is in the chat. He says, Goff showed he's not an MVP, but also shows that Dan Campbell is the coach of the year. John, we're going to talk about good old Jared Goff. We're going to talk about good old Dan Campbell, and Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year, Dan Campbell is not even an option. Let's just be honest. Coach of the Year is going to be Mike Tomlin, Kevin O'Connell, or Matt LaFleur. Let's just be honest. Those are the Coaches of the Year candidates. Dan Campbell, the Lions were expected to be good, so how can you be the Coach of the Year coaching up this great team when you're expected to do this? Teams like the Vikings were expected to win 6-7 games this season. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to make some noise. The Green Bay Packers, yeah, they were supposed to be okay, right? But they're not this good, right? Steelers, everybody washed them off. Oh, they're crap. They got Russ. They got Justin Fields. They're crap. They're winning the AFC North right now. Dan Campbell is a good coach. Do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. He is a good coach, but not Coach of the Year candidate. And Jared Goff is still an MVP. And I'll tell you why coming up here soon. We got my man Mark Dees in the chat. What's up, Mark? Just to answer your text, I just saw it. We are doing the NFL Power Ranking show tomorrow, so we'll be on for that. Also, tomorrow night, I am going to be on the Grit Lions show. So for some reason, those Detroit Lions fans love the piss out of me, even though I talk realism about their team and the hosts get all upset. But the people like me over there, and I don't know why. But so I'll be over there again tomorrow. I think that's at 6 p.m. I will be streaming it here on our YouTube page and of course our Facebook page as well, if you guys are interested in some Detroit Lions. But Mark D says Bo looked good despite the loss. Bo Nix has been solid, right? Bo Nix, Mark, is consistently getting better. Bo Nix is a player that, if given the right people around him, the organization, coaching, etc., right? Give him a couple players, bada bing, bada boom, he could be consistently a top 10 to top 9, maybe bump into that top 7-6 range quarterback year after year after year. Bo Nix seems to me that he is going to be a very, very high floor, low ceiling type of quarterback, right? You know what you're going to get from Bo year in and year out, and that's what he's training to be. And I think that's exactly what the the Denver Broncos need moving forward. They need that consistent quarterback play so they can actually start to build the organization team around a guy. Mark, you are right. Your boy, Bo Nix, definitely looked very, very good against my Kansas City Chiefs last night and definitely should have beat them. Let's just be honest. But we'll be talking about that here coming up very, very shortly here. So, Mark, thank you for joining today, as always. And John says, true, Sean Payton has impressed me this year. I don't know if he's impressed you, but it is what it is. John says, so far the internet has booted me 3 times. And John, I don't have any faith in your internet because you are in Michigan. You are consistently having internet problems. It seems like. No, but I'm kidding. But if it seems like most people are able to see it. Got my man Brody in the chat. He says, "Hey, what's up, Brody? Hope you're having a grand old day, man." And John says, "It's called consistently, Buck. The Lions used to suck for decades. Campbell bogged. Saint turned them around. And can I get an amen?" And brought back the winning ways. When have the Lions ever had winning ways, John? When can you go throughout your NFL history and be like, you know what? The Lions are the team this season. Back in 1996, you know what? I'm going to root for the Lions because I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. Come on. The Lions have never had, quote, winning ways, right? Even when they had Barry Sanders, arguably the best running back in the entire NFL ever, people never banked on them winning like 15 games or going to the Super Bowl or doing this, right? They had one decent season, and they made it to the divisional round, right? They won a wild card game and got to the divisional round, right? The Lions have never been a staple of winning ways, John. Well, go back to bed. Oh, the 1950s. The 1950s is back when they were back in their winning ways. 80 years ago. 80 years ago, man, the Lions were the cream of the crop. The 1950s, there was like 8 teams in the NFL, John. Let me Google that. How many teams were in the NFL in 1950? There were 13 teams. I'm sorry. There were 13 teams because they just expanded. They just merged with the AAFC. Basically, the AFC, right? The NFL and the AFC merged back in the, it was like, 60s actually. But yeah, 13 teams. The winning ways back in the 50s were the Lions, says John. Like, come on, man. 13 teams. And you know what? Let's look at the 1950 NFL standings per NFL.com. The Detroit Lions were 6-6. 6-6 in the 1950s, John. That's not very, very winning. 1951. Let's look it up. They were 1951. They were 7-4-1. Good for 8th place in the 13-team NFL. Woo, moving on up. How about 52? Let's see what they did in 1952. Here we go. 1952. They were 9-3 in 1952. Good for 2nd place, right? 2nd place. Man, they were moving up. How about 53? 53. Okay, they weren't terrible in the 50s. 10-2. Okay. But never were they first place. John says, "Oh, they're overdue." They are overdue. Bobby Lane cursed after they traded him 50 years. 50 years of bad luck. All right. Got my man Danny Hawker. He's a Steelers fan. I believe Danny's a Steelers fan. I can't remember for 100% sure. But what's up, Danny? Long time no see. He says, "It's winning money. Go Russ. Go Steelers. Big matchup Sunday. Rathburn versus the Steelers." Good day to you, Matt Nauer. Good day to you as well, Danny. And you know what? Danny, if you stay tuned for about 15, 20 minutes, man, we're going to talk about your Pittsburgh Steelers beating down the Washington Commanders. We're going to beat, they did. They beat down those Washington Commanders. Let's just be honest. About it. They had 3 receivers on the bench, and Mike Williams, you're our last hope. Insert. Boom, tutty. Game-winning touchdown, Mike Williams. And people said that was what did the NFL experts give that trade? It was like a C- trade or some shit like that. But your NFL experts are eating their asses down. Told y'all, I like that Mike Williams trade. I liked it. But Danny, it is good to see you. John said, keep looking. Look at 1955. 1955, the Detroit Lions go 3-9. 3-9. So they had a good 3-year run in the 50s, John. But I'm not too much of an NFL historian. But come on, that is 30 years before I was born. That is before my dad was born. Hell, my grandpa was a teenager in the 50s, John. I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. But Danny is a Steelers fan. Yeah, thank you for coming to that, Danny. Go Steelers, go. Here we go, as they do their little hashtag. But guys, let's get into today's show. It is Monday. It is way or no way Monday. We got to talk about some little bit of way or a little bit of no way. But let's talk about with the Sunday night football game last night. Let's talk about a game that I was on the edge of my seat most of that game. First half, I was like, what in the world is going on? The Lions were down 23-7 at like halftime. Jared Goff had 3 interceptions. All hope was lost. They just looked like their dog just died, and they walk into the quarter like, man, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Insert second half. Dan Campbell says, hey, we need to get a turnover. What they do, very first play of the second half, they get a turnover. But late in the fourth quarter, Houston Texans offense was pretty much having their way with the Detroit Lions all first half. Third quarter was kind of meh, kind of back and forth, kind of like the haymaker punch, right? And then the fourth quarter, the defensive lineman for the Detroit Lions finally was able to get to C.J. Stroud. They were finally able to put some pressure on C.J. Stroud, causing that fumble, making it 20-23. Houston Texans were still winning, but late in the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. Houston Texans are driving. It is 23-20. They are up. All they got to do is get a first down. Bada bing, bada boom. The game is over. A missed personal pass interference call. Let's just overlook that. But pass fell incomplete. Insert 4 down. Houston Texans walked out there for a 50-some-odd-yard field goal. Wide left. The Lions, at that point, were able to milk the clock because they got the ball back at like the 40. They had to basically drive 20 yards to get into field goal range, and they were able to milk the clock and kick the game-winning field goal. So when we look at the Detroit Lions, guys, we have to ask ourselves this question. How good are the Detroit Lions? Legitimately, how good are the Detroit Lions? When we look at the Detroit Lions, guys, they arguably played their worst game of the season Sunday night. They arguably, from start to finish, they were, do I dare say it, dog shit? Jared Goff, 5 interceptions. But they did not fold up. Jared Goff, in the post-game interview, said, hey, I knew I was throwing interceptions, but I never really felt like I was playing bad. And that quarterback mindset right there is a very dangerous tool. When a quarterback like that mindset, i.e. Brett Favre, yeah, I may have thrown 3 interceptions, but you know what? I'm going to keep letting it rip. That is a dangerous man. That's a bad man right there in Jared Goff. Being down 23-7 at halftime. There's probably only a handful of teams in the NFL that would have come out and actually competed in that game in the second half. Would have come out even won that game, right? We can probably count those teams on one hand. Guys, the Detroit Lions are the real deal. I know I've been kind of hard on them. I've been kind of like, but they need this, but they need that. And guess what? They did that, and they did this, and they're getting better. I believe the motto in Detroit is all grit, right? Keep on grinding. I don't know what grit stands for, but it's always about grit. First, it was biting of the kneecaps. Let's get mean. Let's get angry. That kind of wore off real quick. But now it's grit. And if you look up the definition of grit, yesterday, that game was grit. Pop. It is eventually going to drop. You're eventually going to crack, and then I'm going to expose that crap, and bada bing, bada boom, it is over, it is lights out, and I am the best team, baby! The simple fact of the matter is, guys, the Detroit Lions yesterday showed us that they are capable of winning the Super Bowl. The Detroit Lions showed us yesterday that they are capable of being a very, very good team in the NFL. The Detroit Lions showed us that they are top dogs in the NFC right now. Right now, they are the top dogs. Nobody wants to compete with them right now. Houston Texans folded like a $2 whore in the fourth quarter because they got tired of getting punched in the mouth. It was almost as if the Detroit Lions came out there in the first half and be like, you know what? let's try to pass the ball. Let's just see what happens. Let's make Jared Goff a drop back passer, and let's just see what happens, right? That wasn't working. 23-7. Scrap that offensive scouting report. Insert old, reliable David Montgomery. Run the ball. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hit him on the out route. Bada bing, bada boom. It was a brand new game. The Detroit Lions are a very, very good team. They are dangerous, but they still got flaws like every team in the NFL. They still got their flaws. Their flaws is that Jared Goff cannot be a drop back passer. It's simple as that. If you make them a drop back passing team, they're not very good. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to do it back in week 2. The Houston Texans were able to do it in the first half. Why did the Houston Texans go from that? I don't know if they got tired or if they're like, we expect them to do a lot of this in the second half and let's change everything. Simple fact of the matter is the Detroit Lions remind me of the members of the Titans team, right? What Coach Boone had 6 plays, right? And what did he say? It's just like butter. You give it time and it works every time. Team, they're going to do what they do, and you're going to have to play their ball to be able to beat them. So, guys, let me ask you a question in the comments below. In the comments below, how good are the Detroit Lions? Are they Super Bowl winning good? Are they AFC North winning good? Are they NFC Championship appearance good? How good do you guys think the Detroit Lions are? Right now, I still think they are NFC Championship appearance good, right? They are still good. I am waiting to see what the Eagles do in the next few weeks to really make them 100% favorites. But if the Eagles and the Lions were to play right now, I'm picking the Lions. Picking the Lions 100%. They are a good team. They are a great team. So, guys, the question is, how good do you think they are? Super Bowl good, Super Bowl winning good, Super Bowl appearance good, NFC Championship appearance, or just the North good? Like there's four or five tiers here. How good are they? I would put them at tier 2 good, right? NFC Championship appearance. If they play the Eagles in the championship game, I might take the Eagles, but if they play anybody else, I'd probably take the Detroit Lions. So tier 1.5 for me per se, right? John says the Detroit Lions are as good as Jared Goff plays. And you know what, John? I disagree with that because Jared Goff played like dog doo-doo last night. 5 interceptions. Played like dog doo-doo, right? But they gritted up, as the people like to say, like you said here. Detroit grit. They gritted up, and they do what they do. They ran the ball. They ran the ball legitimately down the Houston Texans' throats, and that's not Jared Goff playing good. That's just Dan Campbell realizing, hey, we've tried this. Let's go back to our old ways. I don't know. Danny says, I agree, but with 5 interceptions and a win in that game, what does that say about Houston defense? That's got to hurt losing a game like that. We'll be talking about Houston coming up here, Danny, 100%. But Houston Texans are going to be A-okay. They're going to be okay, I think. But stay around. We're going to cover the Texans side of things here. John says he Bogrets them then in power rankings. He must be a KC thing. I don't even know what you're trying to say there, John. And Jay's in the chat. What's up, Jay? The biggest Detroit Lions fan and the non-bandwagon fan. He says, Bug mad that the Lions won. You know what? I am actually first of all, I'm not mad that the Detroit Lions won, right? I have friends, I have families that are Detroit Lions fans. I actually had about 7 or 8 family members and friends that were at NRG Stadium watching the game. And I root for the Lions, and I want them to be successful, just not when they play my team, right? If you're playing my team, no. But when the Lions are not playing the Chiefs or the Cowboys, I'm passively rooting for the Lions. So I'm not mad that they won. I'm actually really shocked that they won, right? Like I was saying earlier, they were down 23-7 and come back and won that game. like I said, there's a handful of teams that could have done that. There's probably only 3. But let's just be honest, there's probably only 3 teams in the NFL that could come out after being beat down. Let's just be honest. They were beat down in the first half and then come back and win that game. One of them is the Detroit Lions, obviously, because they done it. Second one is the Kansas City Chiefs, because you can never count them out. Patrick Mahomes has a 600 winning percentage when losing at halftime. No other quarterback is even above 500, so take that into perspective. And number 3 is the Green Bay Packers. We saw the Green Bay Packers, they were down, 28 to, was it 3? 28-0 to the Minnesota Vikings. Going into halftime, second half, they ultimately did lose that game, but they came roaring back, right? They did come roaring back, and I think if they could do that again, they might win that game. And John says they are the Super Bowl appearance good. Not Super Bowl winning good. Not Super Bowl winning good, but Super Bowl appearance good. Okay. I can get with that. And Jay says they are good enough to beat your Kansas City Chiefs. Jay, today is Way or No Way Day. And about 2:30, 2:45, we're going to be talking about my Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm going to tell you that the Detroit Lions are not good enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Because the Kansas City Chiefs find new ways to win week after week after week. They're not going to blow you out. They're just going to give you a little glimmer of hope and then punch you in the mouth to knock you out at the very end of the game. The Detroit Lions, they have one way to beat you, and that's by running the ball. The Kansas City Chiefs, they can run the ball, they can pass the ball, they can block field goals, they can play great defense, they can do this, this, and this. The Detroit Lions have about 3 ways they can beat you. Run the ball left, run the ball right, run the ball to the middle. I'm just playing. But if they were to play, if they were to play this week, going into week 11, I would be taking the Lions over over my Kansas City Chiefs. But they're not playing this week now, are they? Derek, my man's in the chat, says they are good enough to make an NFC Championship game appearance. Okay. I like it. John says straight up from Motor City Mumble or whatever that means. Tampa Bay versus the Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles. What are you talking about, John? Jay says, remember in the offseason when all the Lions fans were hyping up Jake Bakes? Now you know why. Yeah, I thought it was weird that you guys were hyping up a kicker. But, hey, size of my wiener good. Derek says, I think TV sales are going to be through the roof these next 2 weeks. Probably in Texas, right? Jay Jillian says, Mahomes has never beaten Jared Goff. Let that sink in, buddy. You are correct, good sir. I believe he is 2-0, right? Jared Goff versus Patrick Mahomes. With the Rams, with that epic shootout, what was like 58-56 or whatever when he was with the LA Rams. And then, of course, opening night last season, right? Let's not forget that night. But yeah, Jared Goff, I believe, is 2-0 with Patrick Mahomes. Very, very good record. Dave is in the chat. What's up, Dave? He says the Chiefs lost to the Lions last year, and this year's Lions are better. Okay, Dave. Now you're starting to sound like a Las Vegas Raiders fan. Remember Christmas Day last year? That was last season. That was opening day. The Kansas City Chiefs did not have Travis Kelce. They did not. Yes, the Detroit Lions are better than they were first game last season of the NFL season. What was that? 450 some odd days ago? Well, guess what? The Kansas City Chiefs are better too. So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. And John says Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Philadelphia Eagles are the 3 teams that could come back from a 23-7 beatdown. Okay, so there's 4 teams. Okay. NFC Championship up more is all year like a year, like the New England Patriots of the past, like the Kansas City Chiefs, like the Denver Broncos of, back in 2000s or whatever it was. Can they repeat this long-term success? Because when we look at the Detroit Lions, guys, they have built their team the right way, right? They did not go out there and get bunch of free agents and a hot young coach and say, make us win. No, the Lions tried that. It failed with Matt Patricia. They tried to do lists. They tried. I mean, everything that the Detroit Lions have done in the past have failed. Finally, the Detroit Lions are like, you know what? Let's tear it all down. Let's build it from within and build up, right? They are building from within. They hired a former player as their coach in Dan Campbell. He brought in former teammates, former coaches that he can trust, right? They have built that culture from within. Their contracts, they're set for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons. They are set financially for a very, very long time. Not to add that they have $62 million in cap space next season and $21 million in 2026. They have a lot. I know. Break your heart, Detroit Lions fans, but Ben Johnson is out next season. Somebody is going to make him an offer that he cannot refuse. The NFL, life in general, is a copycat league. Teams have seen the success of the Texans and the Lions and what they've done. They hired former players. Let's say, hey, you have control of my team. Build it, make it great. Make the culture, bring in your coaching staff, bring in who you want. Be great. Teams like the Jets, teams like the Saints, teams like the Giants, teams like the Dallas Cowboys are all going to follow the mocking success of Detroit. So the real question is, can they have long-term success in Detroit? They have the players, they have their head coach, they have the general manager, they have the backing of the ownership. The problem that I'm worried about in Detroit is how can they backfill those coaching positions, right? How can they backfill those positions? We saw the Philadelphia Eagles. Super Bowl run, right? Lost it, but lost their offensive coordinator, lost their defensive coordinator. Insert next year, decent, lost them again. This year, back decent, had some troubles, but back decent. San Francisco 49ers, the same way. They're on their, third defensive coordinator in 3 years, something crazy. They have the system in place. Plug and play. But the question is, do the Detroit Lions have that plug and play system? Can they plug and play anybody that, has the grit and mentality of Dan Campbell and the rest of the culture? Can you guys come in there and plug and play? So guys, me being a Detroit Lions passive, I obviously from the outside how they got there, obviously by Dan Campbell, but how much does assistant coaching play in the aspect for the Detroit Lions? Most teams, assistant coaches have a lot of say. How much say does he have in Detroit? That's the real question. Are they built for long-term success? Yes, Ben Johnson is doing their thing, right? But they have their understudies that all are doing their thing too. Promote within, right? Quarterback's coach becomes the offensive coordinator. Receivers coach becomes, just keep promoting them up. Build them, promote them. Build them, promote them. Make it like a cycle. So guys, let me ask you the question. Are the Detroit Lions built for long-term success? That's the question that I want to know. I'm saying yes. They are built for some long-term success. John says, nope, the assistant coaches are going to get head coaching opportunities. And yes, Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn will get opportunities. Ben Johnson turned down 3 or 4 jobs last season, if I'm not mistaken. He wanted to stay in Detroit. He wanted to, quote, run it back, win a Super Bowl. But sometimes I want to be a head coach. Jay says they will be better next season. Brad Holmes can draft. People want to play here. They sign and keep their players. Lions aren't going anywhere. $62 million in cap space says so. We're not letting you go, Amara. We're not letting you go, David Montgomery. 60, man, that is Dak Prescott's salary and plus some. Like, they got some money. They got some dollar bills, y'all. Derek says Bills had a great team in the 90s. Just couldn't get it done. So we are talking about winning it all? Of course we're talking about winning it all. What is success to you? Winning at the end of the day. Now, there's some teams out there like the Detroit Lions, that, hey, success is 9 wins. Success is 10 wins, 13 wins. Not anymore. Success is Super Bowl or bust. Let's just be honest. In Detroit right now, success is Super Bowl or bust. Jay says, Lions got that Ford money, and it's all with Ben Johnson. Might want to come back. Is there not a coaching salary cap? Like, come on. You can't buy all the best coaches, you cheaters. No, but seriously, they do got that Ford money. Ford's got some good money. But, guys, what does their long-term success look like? And speaking of long-term success, the other team from Sunday Night Football was the Houston Texans. The team that gave up the 23-7 halftime lead and had 5 interceptions, ultimately lost the game. That was the Houston Texans. Guys, the Houston Texans have now lost 2 games in a row. And if you look beyond that, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Ouch. Losing to the Jets and the Lions in back-to-back weeks, and now you play the Cowboys, and the Honolulu Blue Flu is a real deal, so they'll probably lose to the Cowboys next week. If they lose 3 in a row, guys, are the Houston Texans done? Is their season done? Is this a season of washed-up misery going to go out the window for the Houston Texans? Houston Texans, guys, last night on Sunday Night Football, in the first half, looked like a Super Bowl winning team. This team came out flying all over the fields. My Detroit friends were melting. They were exploding. Everybody thought the Lions were exposed. The Houston Texans were the real deal. Super Bowl winning. Why have we been sleeping on the Texans all season long? Boom, insert second half. Second half, they started with the interception. And another interception. And then a fumble. And then a missed field goal. They actually did not score 1 point in the second half, losing the game 26-23, giving up a 15-point lead and had 5 interceptions. Ouch. But if they are able to play like they did in the first half for a complete game, they can win a lot of games. If they do that to 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row, we can start talking about them being a dangerous team. But the last 4 games, we saw them play great football in one half. The rest of the time, kind of meh, right? Yes, they did battle against the Green Bay Packers. The score shows them battling for the Green Bay Packers. Watch the game. Their offensive line is terrible. Losing Stephon Diggs hurts them more than people are going to really fully comprehend. Oh, Stephon Diggs weren't so great. Stephon Diggs opens up the whole field for you. You don't have 8 guys in the box to stop Joe Mixon. You don't have 8 guys coming at CJ Stroud on a piss-poor offensive line. Stephon Diggs was the real deal. Stats or not, he helped that Houston Texans team exploit a lot of people earlier in the season. So, guys, is the season over for the Houston Texans? Losers of 2 games in a row, lost 3 of the last 4, lost to the Jets for crying out loud, lost to the Jets. I'm going to have to say you slow it down. Slow it down, baby! Because the Houston Texans are a team that you cannot sleep on. Yes, they did lose to the Jets. But when you look at the rest of the season, the Texans have played a fairly tough schedule. This was one of the reasons why back in July, I had them going, but a team that could potentially go from first to worst was the Houston Texans. Not because of their roster, not because of the coaching, not because of the sophomore slump, not because of injuries or whatever. It was a simple fact that they have a tough-ass schedule. It's tough. When you play the teams like the Lions, like the Packers, you could throw in the Bears in there, right? You could throw in the Vikings like in there. But then they play the Buffalo Bills. They play the Colts twice. They play the Tennessee Titans twice. They play the Chiefs, Ravens, and Dolphins. Like they got a tough schedule. They're going to play the 5 seed, whether it be the Baltimore Ravens, whether it's going to be, I don't know, the Chargers or the Denver Broncos. They're going to be a tough out. The Houston Texans are going to be battle-tested, battle-ready, and they're going to be a tough out. But if they cannot put a complete game together, if they cannot consistently play solid, top-notch football, if they can consistently not be a complete team, their season is over. It is. Wash it up. Let's get a first-round pick again, a first overall pick again. But what do you guys think? Do the Houston Texans have an opportunity to win a wild card playoff game? If the playoffs were to start right now, they would be playing the Baltimore Ravens in the first round. Are they going to beat the Ravens in the first round? Not playing like they did last night. Let's just be honest. Now, if you do the first half of the complete game, it could be a good competition, be a good game. But I don't know. Slow it down. Slow it down. Jay says it was all over when they lost Stephon Diggs. Facts. 100% facts. 7 weeks total from stop to finish. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But season over for the Texans. Now, I was watching the Commanders game taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was watching the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was watching them kind of pretty much do what they kind of wanted to the Commanders. Yes, at times the defense fluttered because Jaden Daniels is the real deal. Jaden Daniels is a really, really good quarterback. But Steelers down by 6. 2 minutes left in the game. I believe it was 27-21. They're down their top 2 receivers in the game. Insert freshly acquired Mike Williams. Freshly acquired Mike Williams that the NFL expert says there was a C- trade grade. It was stupid that the Steelers traded for Mike Williams. Well, guess what? Insert touchdown pass. Insert game-winning touchdown pass from Russell Wilson to Mike Williams. 28-27. Commanders failed on the fourth down drive. Questionable call. We'll get into that later. Insert next series. Commanders jump off sides, and the Pittsburgh Steelers were able to seal the deal. The Pittsburgh Steelers guys improve to 7-2 on the season. They improve to being top dogs in the AFC North. They improve to sitting at the 2nd seed right now in the NFC or the AFC playoff picture. But the question is, how good are the Steelers actually? How good are they actually? How good does that 7-2 record make them seem? Guys, I have been on the Pittsburgh Steelers all season long. We've been on them all season long. Started off 3-0. Oh, but they played the Falcons, they played the Broncos, they played the Chargers. No, very, very good teams, right? Those 3 teams are playoff teams. Broncos, playoff team. Chargers, going to make the playoffs. The Falcons, probably going to make the playoffs. Then they lost to the Colts. It is what it is. The Colts are tough to play at home. They lost to the Colts. Insert Sunday Night Football. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. We're like, what? Okay, maybe the Cowboys aren't so bad after all. Let's just be honest. The Cowboys are a bad team. That was a bad loss. Since then, insert Russ, insert win over the Las Vegas Raiders at Las Vegas, insert wins over the Jets, insert win over the Giants, insert win over the Washington Commanders at Washington, D.C. The defense has been playing pretty top-notch. They've only given up 20-plus points twice this season. Once to the Colts, and then once to the Commanders. Both of those games, it comes down to offense. Offense is looking pretty good. So with that being said, guys, how good are the Pittsburgh Steelers? How good can they be? Guys, the Super Bowl runs through Pittsburgh. Let's just be honest. The Super Bowl runs through Pittsburgh. When the Pittsburgh Steelers play the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs in 4 days in December, they're going to be battle tested. They're going to beat the Ravens at Baltimore December 21st, turn around 4 days later, and they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs at home. That is the preview of the AFC Championship game on Chiefs versus Steelers. Steelers are going to probably win that game. Steelers are a championship Super Bowl winning team. They have a defense. They have a quarterback that's kind of playing well above average. He's definitely not top 10, but top 12, top 13, definitely above average quarterback. Offense just getting better and better and better. When we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, their defense is top tier. They're actually ranked third in the NFL right now. Offense is top tier, ranked 11th in the NFL right now. They have a Super Bowl winning quarterback at the helm. They have a 2-time winning Super Bowl coach at the helm, and they have a bunch of young, hungry players. If you guys are not jumping on the Pittsburgh Steelers bandwagon right now, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You need to hop with 2 feet on this Pittsburgh Steelers bandwagon. Sorry. You need to buckle up. You need to grab yourself a beer, grab yourself a bottle of whiskey, and enjoy the ride because it's going to be fun. When they play the Ravens, when they play the Browns and Bengals and Browns and Eagles again, yeah, they're going to lose a game. They might lose 3 games for the rest of the season. They got a fairly tough schedule. They play the Ravens twice. They play the Chiefs. They play the Bengals twice. They play the Browns twice. They play the Eagles. They really don't have a cakewalk at all for the rest of the season, but they're going to be ready. They're going to be tested, and they are a Super Bowl caliber team. They are a Super Bowl caliber team. And I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I say they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Wrap your head around that. The Steelers are the real deal, guys. Stop sleeping on them. Stop sleeping on them. So, guys, how good are the Pittsburgh Steelers? Where can you see them finishing in this 2024 NFL season? Derek says, have they been able to stop the run all season? They have. Their defense is pretty good. Yes, it has flaws, right? I'm curious to see what Highsmith done because I saw him roll that ankle pretty bad. I wonder what his timetable in return is, right? But we were kind of dogging the Preston Smith trade, right? Insert last Monday or Tuesday, whatever day it was. Election day, trade deadline day, November 5th. We're like, Preston Smith trade, what? Not looking like a bad trade now, is it? I mean, yes, I know we like teams in general like the death, but I was like, this is a dumb trade. And we all kind of agree, like, why are they doing that? Well, they're doing it because when Highsmith goes down with the sprained ankle, look, man, that's freaking gnarly. Let's just be honest. Boom, insert Preston Smith. It is what it is. In Real Talk with Willie Jack, I'm sorry. What's up, man? A long time no see. He says, definitely made it closer than it needed to be with the failed fake punt. But love what I'm seeing. Hashtag here we go. Yeah, Mike Tomlin did try to get a little cute. Try to get a little bit cute, right? But what did the analytics say? They probably said went for it. Sometimes you just got to trust your gut, Mike T. Just got to trust your gut. Trust your gut and go with it. And Derek says, whoa, slow it down, baby. I am not sold yet. I'm in the store, says Derek. I'm looking around. I'm shopping. I'm browsing. I got the Steelers in my hand, reading the back of the label, but I'm not quite sold yet. So I'm keeping on reading. Derek says I'm reading the label. I got my eye on them, but I'm just not ready to put it in the shopping cart yet. Derek, what is holding you back? What is holding you back from reading the label, looking up, and putting it in your shopping cart and enjoying the ride, right? What is holding you back? Just because, like me, as a hyper of the Pittsburgh Steelers all season long, I don't really see their flaws. I mean, maybe I got blinders on. Maybe I got blinders, and I'm just like, hey, Russell Wilson's level of play it's going to stay where it's at. Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson is back. Denver Broncos Seahawks was just a fluke, right? Or Denver Broncos Russ was just a fluke. What are you not sold on? And there it is. He said it's Russ. He's not sold on Russ. And that is what's great about the Pittsburgh Steelers is they just need average quarterback play. They just need a quarterback that's not going to suck. They got the defense. They got the running game. They got the receivers that can kind of be the extension of the running game. Now they got the downfield threat with Mike Williams. Russ just doesn't have to suck. Don't turn the ball over, Russ. Let your defense win you games. Manage the game. He's going to be fine. And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. And John says, you heard it here first. Buck says Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl, no three-peat. As of right now, yeah, John. As of right now, I'm picking against my Kansas City Chiefs to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers if they were to play in the AFC Championship game. Now, no other team can probably beat the Kansas City Chiefs but the Pittsburgh Steelers, but there are other teams that could beat the Pittsburgh Steelers if they were to play again, i.e. the Chargers. I think the Chargers and the Steelers match up really, really well, but that's a story for a different day. Real Talk with Willie Jack says, you preaching right now, Steelers Nation. Listen, man, when I see it, I see it. And when I don't see it, I don't see it. And right now, I see it. I see the Pittsburgh Steelers are a good team. Defense is there. Offense is there. Coaching is there. Special teams is there. What else do you need? What else do you need? And John says Pittsburgh will be in the Final Four prepping the AFC. He says, repping the AFC. So John says they're for sure in the eighth. Think they will get home field advantage because they will lose once to the Ravens. They will drop a game to the Browns or Bengals, either or. But this stretch of games, the Browns at 3 games and 10 games at the Eagles, at the Ravens, and versus the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they're off for 10 days and play the Bengals. So this December stretch for the Steelers is going to be tough. They're going to lose 3 games right now, but they're a solid 2, if not 3 seed, right? The Kansas City Chiefs will be a top 2 seed, and then the Buffalo and getting better, right? So don't forget about the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills will probably end up with the home field advantage, honestly, because they will beat the Kansas City Chiefs next week. Give them the head-to-head tiebreaker, and the Kansas City Chiefs will probably drop another game or 2 to end the season, whether it's to the Panthers or to the Broncos or the Chargers. So they are going to lose another game. So, guys, how good are the Pittsburgh Steelers? And Mark D says, did anyone hear the mic pick up Mahomes asking the ref in this? And you know damn well he was not talking to the referee. You know damn well he was talking to his offensive lineman, right? There are other camera angles. I saw the Catch-22 camera angle because after the Sunday games, I stay up most of the night working on my power rankings, watching Catch-22 films just to see what I thought I saw, and I want to re-see it, right? You saw Mahomes legitimately looking at, it was the left tackle and the center saying, hey, if I'm running, let me know when he, like you saw him talking. Like, get out of here with that. Get out of here. Don't be trying to pull no propaganda around here, Mark. You're better than that. You are better than that. So one thing that people are not sold on, right, for the Pittsburgh Steelers this season is Russ. Was Russ the right choice? Was benching of Justin Fields after being 3-2, winning 3 games in a row, was that the right choice? Mike Tomlin has kind of been like, hey, Russ is our guy. We are on this ship, and since then, Russ has been the man. So guys, as the starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson is 3-0. As Russell Wilson, as a starter, the Pittsburgh Steelers are averaging 10 more points per game. Not 1, not 2, but Miss Davis, 10. 10 more points per game. And then on top of that, they're averaging damn near 100 more yards per game with Russell Wilson at the quarterback. There were a lot of people out there, me being one of them. I'm saying, how can you legitimately bench Justin Fields being 4-2 as a starter? How can you bench a guy that led you to a 3-0 start with wins over the Falcons, Broncos, and Chargers, 2 on the road, 1 at home, all 3 potential playoff teams? Yes, they lost to the Colts and Cowboys. Shit happens, right? But then bounce back and beat down the Raiders. Like, how can you do that? We sat there and we dogged him. We dogged him like, he's making a mistake. He's making a mistake. He's making a mistake. So the question is, guys, did Mike Tomlin make the correct move by putting Russell Wilson in that starter? And not only in that starter, being 100% committed to Russ. Was it the right move? Was it the right move? Analytics are pointing to yes. 3-0, 10 more points per game, 90 more yards per game. Let's not add to the fact that, yes, he's beaten the Commanders. He's beaten the New York Giants, a sneakily good Giants team, by the way, a really good defense, and the Jets team that was struggling. But brand new head coach at that, Russ. Let's not sleep on Russell Wilson. I understand, Derek, you have your doubts on him. You're still looking at the can, and you're not sold on the Steelers because of Russ. But I'm telling you, Russ is a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Russ has been through a gauntlet of the schedule like the Steelers are getting ready to go through. Mike Tomlin has been there, done that. He's got the T-shirt and wore it twice on Sunday. 2-time winning Super Bowl coach. This team is hungry. This team is hot. And this team is rattling. Can't even say that word. They're rallied around Russ. They want Russ to be successful. The Steelers want to be successful, and they are going to be successful, and Russ was the right call. Russ was the right call, 100%. 100%. My man, WB Ince in the chat says, damn, I joined too late. You didn't join late, Ant. We're here for another hour, man. We're not even halfway through the show, man. But what's up? And John says, yes, it was the right move. Contrary of what people are saying, all these talking head figures are saying it was the right call. And John, I have to agree with you. I was 100% wrong when I said Pittsburgh Steelers are making a mistake by putting Russ in there. Justin Fields is playing good. Justin Fields was playing good, right? He was also being carried by a good defense, good running game. Russell Wilson has elevated the Pittsburgh Steelers just enough. And Justin Fields, you can see him on the sideline. He's soaking up that knowledge. He is having fun playing football again. Get out of Chicago, insert Pittsburgh, right? Schittsburg, as they like to say. And he's having fun. He's enjoying football. I don't want to be a team that plays Justin Fields when he gets an opportunity to be a starter in the NFL again. Whether it's next year or the year after that, he's going to be a very confident individual. He's going to win you a lot of games. Derek says, Mike Tomlin is a strong coach. He knows his craft. Russ is cheap option Fields can learn from. Exactly. It's exactly right. Exactly right. It is exactly right. But on the other side of that game, guys, we did have the Washington Commanders. We had the Washington Commanders with a lead to win the game, an opportunity to win that game. They were up 27-21. Jane Daniels kind of took that kind of a sack/run, but lost some yardage. Put them in a fourth and 11. He threw the ball 10 yards down the field, ultimately lost the game. So when we saw the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this is the few things that I've learned. During this game, I was taking notes, right? During this game, of course, the Detroit Lions did their thing, so that had to lead the show. But I was watching the Commanders very, very closely. I have watched the Commanders closely. Guys, what I learned from them is they're not ready to be great. The Commanders have a lot of the right pieces in place. They have the opportunity to be great, but they're not ready to be great yet. They have to learn how to take it on the chin a little bit more before they can be put into those conversations with the Detroit Lions, with the Pittsburgh Steelers, with the Kansas City Chiefs, with the Green Bay Packers, and like Eagles. They have to earn those lumps before they can be great, and the Commanders guys are not ready to be great. It's simple as that. They have been playing good, if not great, football. Very, very high level of football. But they're not ready to win. They have the right pieces, but they're not ready to win. They have the right coach, but they're not ready to win. Also, the one thing I saw in the Commanders, I'm like, man, there's a lot of old heads on this team. I did not realize, I realized that Bobby Wagner was playing for the Commanders, but I did not realize, like, shit, Russ and Bobby Wagner came into the league together like 12, 13 years ago. 2, they are the oldest roster in the NFL. They are built to win now, but not beyond that. So second thing that I learned from the Washington Commanders is they are built to win. I understand why you're excited. We got Jaden Daniels, we got Scary Terry, the offense is looking nice. But you have to have reasons to be worried. That defense is old as balls. The defense is old. And they are built to win now and not beyond 2025, 2026, 2027. They better use misery for the Washington Commanders moving forward. Surprise, surprise, surprise. We're here. You know, we made it to the team. See you guys going down that same path. Jaden Daniels, hopefully you do not get the same rap as Daniel Jones, but I can see that all going down the same path. Build that culture, promote within, be. That is what I'm learning from them. John says the internet is buffering. No, it's not. John's in the chat. What's good, John? What's up? What's up? What's up? And John says a young team better keep an eye on them. They're getting better. The Commanders are getting better this season. And if they make the playoffs this season, they could potentially win a. Have a feeling that if they do that, they're going to be just like the Giants. Just like the Giants. If the draft was today, what position are they grabbing? Well, they are 7-2. So they would be a 5th seed in the NFC playoffs because the Eagles are now the 1st seed in the NFC East. So they would be a wild card game. So they would play a team like it'd be the Lions at 1. Number 2 would probably be the Eagles. Number 3 would be the Arizona Cardinals. And then number 4 would be the Atlanta Falcons, if I'm not mistaken. And so they would be playing the Atlanta Falcons. I think they would beat the Falcons, and then they would lose to the next round, whether it be the Lions or whoever they're going to play at that particular point. So that gives them a 23rd round pick. Today, they beat the Falcons in the first round, and then they lose to the Lions in the second round. I guess it would be higher than that. It'd be like 25, 26. So bottom tier of the first round, Derek. And John says, that is why they need to draft better. Well, wasn't that the big downfall of Dan Quinn anyways, was his inability to draft? But then, what did they do after that? They shit the bed. Couldn't develop talent. They need defensive line and linebackers. My dad. And he just walked in the door. From Kansas. I didn't even know they were coming. So, salute. I think that means cheers in Mexican. I don't know. But salute. Salute to old man. But guys, Washington. But it is what it is. Let's move on. Hour number 2, guys, is fresh underway here at the Man Hour Studios. Man Hour NFL Talk, guys, is live every Monday through Friday, 1:30 East Coast time. Here for a solid 2 hours because the pigskin pundits wanted it, and by the bing, bada boom, they want it. I will deliver it to them. Just like my man John. Be like John. John and John, both pigskin pundits. See, they got the little heart next to their names. They are pigskin pundits. They get free entry into the NFL Pick'ems. They get free. Just gotta go over to the Discord and watch it. It's free to watch to anybody, but you do not get the opportunity to pick whatever games that you want to watch. John said, I want to watch the Lions game. I got you. And then he said, I want to watch the Chiefs game. I got you. Next week, he's going to want to watch the Raiders game. I got you. So if you have an out-of-market game, bada bing, bada boom, I'll stream it over there on the Discord. Also, to be a Pigskin Punter, guys, click on the link below. Click on the link below. Click the subscribe button, bada bing, bada boom. You are a Pigskin Punter. You also get some free merch. A little bit of free merch out there as well. So, with that being said, guys, it is hour number 2. It is Monday, so it is time for a little thing like we like to call way or no way. Way or no way is very, very simple. That's the wrong button. Oh, I got the same one. My bad. Whatever. Way or no way, guys, is... I see what the people are talking about, and bada bing, bada boom, we had to determine if, yeah, I agree with them, or no, they are stupid. Stupid. But guys, way or no way, play along in the comments below. It is very, very fun. And if you guys watch over here on YouTube Shorts, click on the main link and you get to see some of the overlays. So with that being said, guys, we have to start with way or no way. We have to talk about the best team in the NFL, or are they? But that is the Kansas City Chiefs. We are going to start today's no way or no way off with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs, guys, blocked a game-winning field goal to steal the win. That's right, steal the win versus the Denver Broncos, 16-14. When we look at the Kansas City Chiefs, guys, they are now the only undefeated, or they continue to be the only undefeated team in the NFL. But guys, way or no way, are the Kansas City Chiefs the best team in the NFL? Now, on Tuesday, we do our power rankings. On Tuesday, we do rank the teams and how I think they will do the next week, right? Last week, the Detroit Lions were number 1. But the Detroit Lions are not 9-0. They are playing good football, but they're not 9-0. Sutton have his way on the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Who's going to have a good... What made the Kansas City Chiefs so dangerous last year? They didn't have a number 1 receiver till the playoffs time. This season, they don't really... They can beat you with the long ball still too, if Xavier Worthy would catch the ball, but we digress. Guys, they most certainly are the best team in the NFL. Not because they're knocking people out. One-score game was the San Francisco 49ers and the Saints. Both of those games were 10-point spreads. And that was just because they had both of those other teams were just playing that bad at that particular point. But when we look at team, we have to look from top to bottom. We have to look at backup punter, extra point holder. We have to look at the whole team. And the point of the matter is they are the best team. They find new ways to win week after week, year after year, Super Bowl after Super Bowl. They find different ways to beat you, and they play to the style of play that you want to play. The Denver Broncos, they wanted to play a slug-out defensive game. What was it? It was a slug-out defense of game, and the Kansas City Chiefs beat them. They beat them. Yes, it may have been because of a blocked field goal, but they're doing through the highlights, and they showed all 4 field goals / PAT attempts for the Denver Broncos. After play, they were getting closer, play after play after play. So they knew in the back of their mind, game on the line, we're going to go get it. This is how we're going to go get it, and that's what they did. That is coaching. Coaching saw that. That wasn't the referees. That wasn't players. That was coaching, putting players in the right position, saying, go give me the ball. This is what you got to do. Go give me the ball. That they're going to go 3-peat. That is why the Kansas City Chiefs have the people hate them. Let's just be honest. That is why people hate the Kansas City Chiefs. They've broken 30 points once this NFL season, and that's 30 points to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last Monday night. The fact of the matter is they are the best. So, guys, the question is, way or no way, are the Kansas City Chiefs the best team in the NFL from top to bottom? And John says, no freaking way. No way. John, why no way? Why? Over again, win anyway. He sees it. John, you missed me praising your Detroit Lions earlier, but hey, it is what it is. Check out the replay. I think if they beat the Bills, it will be way. So Casey says, whoa, slow it down, baby. They are lucky. They're winning because of luck. That luck is going to run up. And when they play the Buffalo Bills in Week 11, on Sunday football, America's game of the week, at Buffalo, New York, we're going to see what they'll really like about it. I can tell that. Slow it down. So that's a no way for Casey. John Pebbles says, this is how he will snub the Lions on the list. We will see. Well, first he says they are the best team. They've proven again over and over and over they win special teams, offense, defense. It doesn't matter. Look at that hashtag waffle. Give me a hashtag waffle in the comments below. Jeez, this guy. Swinging. Swing. I don't know what that means. Swing, swing. In addition of D-Hop and Hunt makes them better. It makes them dangerous as hell. That is for sure. Yes, Kareem Hunt was a nice addition. Jay Pacheco should be back next week, I think. Not week 11, but week 12 should be back. D-Hop has been the biggest addition of all. He has opened up the whole offense. D-Hop has been the real deal, right? But John says, yeah, Hunt and D-Hop make them better, but they're still not the best. No way. No way. Casey says, not if the Lions keep playing the way they did last night. And honestly, Casey, I kind of like the way the Lions won last night. It showed me that they are a Super Bowl caliber team, right? That's the style they played to beat Kansas City twice at Arrowhead. Who has beat Kansas City twice at Arrowhead? John says, Buck is sipping on that clear liquid again. It's brown. It's brown liquid, John. It's brown liquid. But the question is, guys, best team in the NFL. Stop sleeping on them. Get out of here. But you know who we're not sleeping on? You know a team that we are not sleeping on? A team that I told you guys was a complete dumpster fire from day one. A team that I thought was like, people are saying, playoffs. And I'm like, playoffs? And they're like, yeah, playoffs. I'm like, playoffs? And that's the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears dropped a heartbreaker to the New England Patriots on Sunday. What? To the Patriots? Yeah, the Patriots. Those New England Patriots. The same New England Patriots that are buying for a first overall pick, but they keep winning somehow, right? But Caleb Williams is now 0-2 versus other rookie quarterbacks in his class, losing to Drake May and Jaden Daniels. Both of them beat down the Chicago Bears. Let's just be honest. Hail Mary or not, it doesn't matter. The Commanders dominated that game from the Bears from start to finish. Everyone said that the Bears were the best spot for a quarterback to land, and this was a Super Bowl move when they drafted Caleb Williams. Also picked up Keenan Allen, picked up Rome Duze as well. So far this season, guys, the Chicago Bears are 4-5 on the season, and they are losers of 3 games in a row. They have lost to the Commanders. So the question is, guys, way or no way should Matt Eberflus, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, be fired today? Does he need to walk in Tuesday morning with a pink slip on his desk? Matt Eberflus, guys, is 14-29 as well right now. He's hanging on to the ball too long. It's about 5 to 6 seconds, sometimes 7, 8 seconds. The offensive line isn't playing well, but haven't we heard that before? Quarterback hanging on to the ball too long. Offensive line isn't playing well. It's taken him a long time to read. Oh, Justin Fields was there, right? Justin Fields, that generational talent, which they traded to Pittsburgh Steelers first 3 games of the season, bada bing, win, win, win. Maybe it's the system. Maybe it's Matt Eberflus. Maybe it's bad offensive play calling. So, guys, way or no way should Matt Eberflus be fired as the Chicago Bears head coach? This is a way. This is a way. Matt Eberflus should have been fired last season. Let's just be honest. He should have been fired last season. You had the first overall pick. You had the 9th overall pick. Perfect opportunity to bring in a new head coach, bring in a new culture, draft your guy at 1, at 9, or trade down and get multiple fired. Let's just be honest. Ryan Poles for not firing Matt Eberflus last season. And so the offensive play schemes is bad in Chicago. Player development is bad in Chicago. Everything is bad in Chicago. Hell, that is why the Bears want to move out of Chicago. Let's just be honest. I'm just saying, coaching is the issue in Chicago. Now you have 2 coaches or 2 quarterbacks, 2 generational talent quarterbacks that both hang on the ball too long. One of them, I could say, yeah, sure, right? But back-to-back quarterbacks, 2 generational talent quarterbacks, and they're both. Eberflus needs to be fired. He needs to be gone. See ya. So, guys, way or no way should Matt Eberflus be fired in Chicago after dropping 3 straight games for the Chicago Bears? I mean, it's not like they're playing bad teams, right? First place, Arizona Cardinals. First place team, Washington Commanders, were tied for first place. Man. So, guys, way or no way. I never bought stock into thinking Caleb Williams was a second coming of the dude. Dude mouth didn't even check to see if he had cash. You wouldn't have to punt. Pay the punter and cut the quarterback. So as you guys know, punt very, very much, right? Boy, has that aged very, very bad. But yeah, so Casey's saying no way. No, or sorry, he's saying wait. Matt Eberflus should be fired. John says they are done this year. That's in a tight division. They will keep the coach. So John's saying no way. Matt Eberflus gets a pass this season. This is his 3rd season. He has a losing record. He has had 2 generational talent quarterbacks that hang on to the ball too long consistently. Do you guys remember? I don't know. It was week 5 of the 2023 NFL season. Me and Combs were on here talking the Chicago Bears. I'm like, Combsy, how many games has Matt Eberflus won in a row? The answer to that question was 0. He has never won back-to-back NFL games. He actually has more losing streaks than he has wins in his NFL career. Right. Don't shoot the messenger. Facts are just facts. Again. So Derek says Matt Eberflus is the reason why the city is excited. Well, Derek, there is a reason why they consistently have the first overall draft pick year after year after year. Yes, I understand. Oh, they got the Carolina Panthers draft pick, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Cool. But they're on pace to get another 10, 11 top pick in the NFL. They were 9th last season. They got the first overall pick from Carolina with the Bryce Young thing, right? They're not very good. Ryan Poles had a lot of hype. He had a lot of hype in Kansas City as the assistant general manager. Yeah, he's drafted, quote, well, but what have those draft picks done? What have those draft picks done for you? Caleb Williams looking like a bust. Rome Udze, he's had a couple good games, but beyond that, really haven't seen anything. How can you say they draft well? I don't know. Casey says the Browns, Bears, which is more of a dumpster fire? I would say the Bears are more of a dumpster fire, honestly. Because the Browns have all this potential, all this hope to be great, and they consistently suck year after year after year. I don't know. John says coin toss some weekly at 10 p.m. John says, wait. Horrible. This is managerial skills and Matt Eberflus. You should have fired his ass last year. I understand you guys came together, whatever, yada, yada. Stupid. It doesn't matter. Get out of here. Derek says, what team do they upset in a playoff run? The Bears aren't going to upset anybody. The Bears may not win a game for their season. They play the Packers next, and then they play the Vikings and the Lions and the 49ers, Vikings, Lions, Seahawks, Packers. Very brutal schedule to end out. All of which are winning teams. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The Bears might end on 11-game winning or losing streak. Might end on 11-game losing streak. And John thinks the Bears are going to upset the Green Bay Packers next week. What? The only way that the Bears beat the Packers is January 5th, and that's when the Green Bay Packers are playing all their backups. No, come on, John. Casey says, so the fire sales Bear front office and staff. Maybe Jerry Jones can trade himself to the Bears and get some draft picks for the Dallas Cowboys. What if, hear me out, what if they do this? Come Tuesday morning, Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus are both fired. Both of them are out. Jerry Jones hears that news, like, Mike McCarthy, get out of here. Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, come on down. What if they just traded head coaches? Jesus, that would be something. But way or no way, guys, should Matt Eberflus be fired? I'm saying way. I am saying way. Speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons had a lot to say. The Dallas Cowboys got beat down by the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's just be honest. It was 34-6. It was a complete, utter disaster for the Dallas Cowboys and the whole entire team. But Micah Parsons addressed the media after the game and says that Mike McCarthy can go wherever he wants. Mike McCarthy does not put in the time or effort that it takes to be a good head coach. But he also come back and said that firing of the head coach is above his pay grade. Jerry Jones, in the same breath, within like the next 10 minutes, says that there will be no mid-season coaching change. Mike McCarthy's job is safe. The Dallas Cowboys did have their worst loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in a very, very long time, 34-2. So, guys, way or no way, by keeping Mike McCarthy, the Dallas Cowboys are making a mistake. When I first saw the Micah Parsons interview post-game, I was very, very upset. I was upset not because of what he was saying, but because who he was saying it to. Things of this, when you have a conversation like this is a closed door conversation. This is not in front of the media. This is not on your podcast. This is not anywhere other people can hear. This is a closed door conversation. Coaches and players hash it out, not in the media. So first things first is Micah Parsons needs to shut his damn mouth. You never air your dirty laundry out in public, right? That is like the people that have the Facebook accounts like, oh, my wife did this, my husband did that. Well, don't air out your dirty laundry. People don't need to know your business. Keep it in-house. Keep it behind closed doors. Secondly, Cooper Rush looked lost at best on Sunday. I had a little bit of faith in Cooper Rush. Being 5-1 as a Dallas Cowboys starter for a couple years ago, he looked like a deer in the headlights. He looks lost at best. Trey Lance, insert second half, he didn't even look that much better. And I had faith in Trey Lance too. I'm like, hey, he might be the future. You give him a little something. What? They do play the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football next week, and they're pretty pissed off. Houston Texans are giving up a 23-7 lead. And then they play the Commanders, Giants, and Bengals. It's a very real possibility, guys, that the Dallas Cowboys could lose 7 games in a row. So the question stands, way or no way, are the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones making a mistake by keeping Mike McCarthy on this staff as the head coach? And the answer to that question is no way. He is making the correct call. He is making the correct call because we've said this before, right? If the Dallas Cowboys really want to build for the future, they need to lose now. They need to lose now and get a high draft pick. Keeping Mike McCarthy around is making him play pretty bad football. Let's just be honest. I hate to see a coach like this struggle, lose the locker room, get disrespected. He seems like a very likable, nice person, right? Mike McCarthy is a Super Bowl winning coach. And people are just shitting on him like he's a dog poo-poo. But the best way for the Dallas Cowboys to be better is to keep Mike McCarthy. I don't think he is the Dallas Cowboys coach moving forward, but a coaching change now will not help anything. There's a lot of finger pointing happening right now on the Dallas Cowboys team, starting with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons hasn't played the last 6 weeks. Let's just be honest. So a lot of finger pointing, a lot of culture issues happening in the Dallas Cowboys locker room. So a coaching change would not help anything. I wouldn't want to bring somebody into this mess right now. Jerry Jones is doing the right thing by keeping Mike McCarthy as the head coach. Because if you want to bring in an intern head coach, You might get a little spark and win a game or two, right? But the fact of the matter is the culture's still there, right? We don't want another Las Vegas Raiders saying, oh, AP won us 3 games. Let's make him head coach. You don't want that. You want to be bad, and you want a complete culture shift after January 5th. Once January 6th hit, you can call your Deion Sanders, you can call your John Grudens, you can call whoever you want, but you need a complete culture shift. You need to bring in a former player, let that former player bring in his staff guys. Don't try to micromanage anything. Let him do his thing. So with that being said, guys, way or no way is Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys doing the right decision by keeping him around? I'm saying no way. Or, yeah, I probably said that wrong. But no way Mike McCarthy should not be fired. Casey says Cowboy season's over, especially since Dak is out for the season, right? Casey, we kind of spoke hypothetically on what teams could trade for him. But realistically, he's not moving on from the Dallas Cowboys at all, right? There's like $160 million dead cap hit over the next 2 seasons. Ridiculous, right? The fact of the matter is Dak needs to go out and get repaired, right? So 2020, 25, he can come out and be ready for preseason and off-season work. They have not the Bears, but the Raiders and Tampa Bay traded head coaches Bill Callahan for John Gruden. The Cowboys are not trading for a. You are going to have to go out there and get a guy. Aaron Glenn, Deion Sanders. I think it has to be a former player too. None of these hot young offensive coordinators, Ben Johnson or Ben McAdoo or McDonald or whatever. Troy Aikman. How about Tony Romo, right? We are going to see a big old school coaching come down here, right? I think it's gone. And John said he's gone after this year. I agree. He is 100% gone. Casey says John Gruden gutted the Raiders and then got fired for being a racist. Listen, as a Chiefs fan, I am glad John Gruden is no longer in the NFL with the Las Vegas Raiders. He was turning that culture around. John Gruden was doing good things for the Las Vegas Raiders, and the NFL's like, we cannot have the Raiders be good. That's what happened, right? That is not going to happen. John says no way. I agree with you, John. I agree with you. Derek says no way. What, Robert Saleh gets $250 a week to sit at home? It's $50,000 a day. What was the question? How did I word it? I don't know. The answer is no way. It is no way. No way or no way are the Dallas Cowboys making a mistake by keeping Mike McCarthy? The answer is no way. No way. Alrighty here. All right, guys, hang it up and we can talk about it. Anything related, NFL, real life, Major League Baseball, whatever you want. The last 5-10 minutes of the show is all for you guys. So if you guys want to talk about something, definitely bring it up and we can discuss that. But the final way or no way of the day here, and that is going to go to the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons dropped a heartbreaker to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday, losing 20-17. Very, very poor clock management to end that game. They were driving down the field. They're about the 50. It was 4th and 4, 50 some odd seconds left. It took them 39 seconds to call a play and get it off. Ultimately end up losing that game. Before that loss to the Saints, they did win 5 of their last 6. Wins over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers twice, the Cowboys, Panthers, and Saints. Looking at the Atlanta Falcons schedule, that's the question, guys. Way or no way, will the Atlanta Falcons miss the playoffs? Currently, the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at 3rd seed in the NFC playoffs with an 83% chance of making the playoffs. They have the 5th ranked offense in the NFL, but the 23rd ranked defense in the NFL. And if you look at the wildcard teams as of right now, we have the Packers and Commanders both sitting at, we have the Commanders and Vikings both sitting at 7 wins, and the Green Bay Packers sitting at 6 wins. So for the Atlanta Falcons to not win the division and still make it into the playoffs, I see them having to get around 10 wins. So if my math is mathing, you need 4 more wins because they are 6-4 on the season. So guys, way or no way will the Atlanta Falcons miss the playoffs after getting beat by the Saints on Sunday? It's supposed to be no way. The answer is no way. The Atlanta Falcons will not miss the playoffs, guys. This team seems to step up to their competition when they beat the Bucks twice. They battled the Kansas City Chiefs. They beat the Eagles, right? Those were all good wins, all good points. But then they lost to the Seahawks at home, and then they lost to the Saints, which is not a very good look. So this is a team that steps up to their competition, but also plays down to their competition. And when you look at their schedule moving forward, Broncos, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, I can see them winning 2 of those four games. They all 2 wins there. That is 10 wins, and that does get you into the playoffs. So I think they are a playoff-bound team. Way or no way, guys, will the Atlanta Falcons miss the playoffs? That is the question. That is the question. That is the question. Casey Morgan says, way. I hate to say it because I like Kurt, but I don't think they have what it takes to make the playoffs. Interesting. Even though they have the 5th-ranked offense in the NFL, the defense isn't playing great, but they're ranked 23rd, right? But 5th-ranked offense. If you can't stop us, my defense stops you one time. That is a dub. And John says, way. 2 words for you. Baker Mayfield, baby. Listen, John, I love me some Baker Mayfield. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a team that people are still sleeping on. And Mike Evans does come back this week, but Chris Godwin is out. That is a huge blow for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And losing to the San Francisco 49ers the way they did after Mooney has missed, 4 field goals at that particular time. Deebo Samuel is just punching people in the throat. Simple fact of the matter is, John, the Buccaneers have lost 4 games in a row. They lost 4 games in a row. Now they're on their bye week this week, right? Mike Evans should be back, but they play at the Giants, at the Panthers, and then they got the Raiders, at Chargers, at Cowboys, and Panthers and Saints to end the season. They're sitting at 4 wins. They have to win probably 6 or 7 games, and I'm not for sure if they can get hot and win that many times. I love me some Baker. Don't let him in the playoffs because he will upset you. But, right? Casey says, I'd like to hate Baker, but man, he's having a year. He is having a year. He had a year last year. Baker Mayfield is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Give him his credit where credit is due. But 4 losses in a row. That's tough, baby. That's tough. And John says, Kurt won't get him a 3rd time. And you are absolutely right. But they probably won't play in the playoffs. Probably won't play in the playoffs. If the Bucs even make it to the playoffs. Because Tristan Wirfs just went down with I think it was ACL, right? I don't know. And Derek says, how many primetime games do the Atlanta Falcons have left? They have 1. They play, they had the Raiders on primetime. December 16th, they travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, and that is a primetime game. That is a Monday night game. Falcons versus Raiders. How is that a primetime Monday night game? What? But so and then they have 2 be announced games versus the Commanders and Panthers, which the Commanders game might be a primetime game, but the Panthers definitely won't. So they for sure have 1 more primetime game, December 16th versus the Raiders. Hey, the Raiders might break their 8-game losing streak at that particular time. And Casey says, I can see that game getting flexed. Can they flex? So they can't flex dates. Because I thought they made that a rule this year that they can't flex dates. So if you're scheduled to play on a Sunday, you're playing on Sunday. If you're scheduled to play on a Saturday, you're playing Saturday. But they can flex the times, right? So guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the way it is. I'm not 100% sure. John says he's Lamar and Dak in the playoffs. Kirk Cousins or Baker? Because let's just be honest, we've only seen Kirk Cousins in the playoffs twice? Maybe twice? I don't know. What is Kirk Cousins' record in the playoffs? Kirk Cousins playoff in the record, he has 1 win and 2 appearances. So really don't have a lot to go off of Kirk Cousins playoff-wise, right? They did beat the Saints in the wild card game in 2019. They lost to the Giants in 2022. So I don't know. Can you really dog him for being that bad? But then later it says he's 1-4 in playoff records. Oh, total. Okay. StatMuse. I like StatMuse. If you guys haven't used StatMuse, you should use it. So he actually has 5 playoff appearances. I'm sorry. He has 2 with the Redskins, both of them wild card losses. In those games, he threw for 31 yards, so it looks like he got hurt on the first Commanders game back in 2013. 2016 in that game. Not terrible stats. QBR pretty good. So that seems like a pretty decent game, but like it was a loss. They did lose to the Green Bay Packers, and then sacked twice in that particular game. And then they played the 49ers the following week in the divisional round. Did lose that game. He threw for 23. He did play the New York Giants. Lost that game, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns, with a 119 QBR ranking. So, his playoff stats are not terrible, John. So, I mean, he did have that one bad game when he lost to the 49ers, but that was when the 49ers were at their peak, right? 9 sacks is tough. So Derek says, I have a running back and tight end that they like. Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robertson, right? Both pretty good guys. Check his career. What do you want about his career stats, right? I mean, he is 57 and 30 as a starter. I mean, so just because he plays down a little bit in the playoffs, right? Let's scroll down. He averages 263 yards a game. Like I don't dog Kirk because he's not terrible. He's not terrible stat wise. Casey Morgan says if Kirk wins one more playoff game, he ties Lamar's playoff record, which is nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about. But guys, that is going to be it for Way or No Way here. But it is time for a little bit of water cooler talk. So if you guys want to talk about anything, go ahead and pop it up in the comments below, and we will talk about it. We will discuss about it as I search through the Kirk Cousins career stats here. Kirk Cousins is a 57 and a 30 stat winner or career record, John. So, like he has 50 and 37 and 1. Kirk Cousins. What do you want to know about Arizona Cardinals? Am I sold on them? Not at all. Not sold on the Arizona Cardinals one bit. Not sold on them. Yes, they did beat the who they play. Can't even remember now. The Jets, right? They beat down the Jets. But let's just be honest. Who hasn't beat the Jets? Besides the Browns, right? No, I'm kidding. But what do you want to know about the Cardinals? They're 6-4 right now, sitting on top of the NFC West. But 49ers are coming. 49ers are coming, Derek. 49ers are going to get hot. 49ers are a game behind, sitting at 5-4. 49ers have a fairly favorable schedule, right? They play the Seahawks, Packers, and Bills the next 3 weeks. But beyond that, they play the Bears, Rams, Dolphins, and Cardinals. So it all could come. They go to Arizona to play the Cardinals. But what do you want to know about them? Are they a playoff team? Are they going to win the West? Like, what do you want to know? I think they're going to ultimately shit the bed at the end of the day. I have zero faith in them. Derek says, think they're taking the division. 49ers fight for a mid-game. When you look at the Cardinals schedule, at Seahawks, at Vikings, and they play the Seahawks again, all potential 3 losses. Then they play the Panthers and Patriots. Trap games, right? Because then they play the Rams and 49ers to end the season. They could lose 3, 4, 5 more games to end the season. That gives them 8-9 record. That's not good. That's not good. John said, I don't know. That's kind of a dumb question. Let's just be honest. But there ain't nothing like a Diddy party, right? He like Diddy do. Y'all stupid. Y'all are fat out stupid at the end of the day. But guys, that's going to be it for today. Week 10 is in the books tonight. We had the LA Rams take on the Miami Dolphins. It will be streaming over here on our Discord. So if you guys do not get ESPN or ABC, check the Discord. It'll be out over there. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Live, raw, uncut, 1:30 p.m. East Coast time. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm very, very busy because we got our live show for 2 hours. Then I'm on the Lions Grit show from 7 until like 8. And then we do our power ranking show at 9 o'clock. So Tuesday, if you guys like some NFL talk, be sure to tune to the YouTube page and, of course, Facebook page. I will stream all that to our proper sources. But until then, guys, we out.